How about the Cincinnati Bengals, baby? We've criticized ownership on this show. We've called the Bengals cheap. We've done it all. But guess what? We got to eat our words now that both Ja'Marr Chase and Tee Higgins paid Ja'Marr Chase a 4-year deal, $161 million, $112 guaranteed, highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. By the way, I just love that they tag on a little bit of that extra like 0.25.
Oh yeah,
just because he had to be the highest paid. We said it, right?
Yep.
We joked on the show that the day that Myles Garrett got paid, Rocky Arsenault, his agent, called up the Bengals and said, well, price went up, baby. Tee Higgins, 4 years, $150 million deal with the first 2 years guaranteed. So we called them cheap, yet I can tell you ownership was very focused on making sure that the Tee Higgins deal was done. It was always assumed Ja'Marr would figure it out. But I always felt from my time in Indy at the Combine to now, it was very clear that getting Tee Higgins was the priority.
Yeah,
because I always thought it was Ja'Marr. I never worried about the Tee Higgins deal getting done. I knew it was going to get done. Obviously, they had the chance to not, but yeah, they so now they're paid. Joe Burrow gets their guys, and Joe Burrow's getting everything he wants right now.
Sure is.
Because these were the asks. So now this is the question that we got to dive into here, because now you have the Trey Hendrickson situation where we know he's asked for a deal. I know his side and the Bengals front office have engaged in some conversations about maybe they can work something out. I think a lot needs to happen in order for that to shake out, because obviously if you look at what he's going to be asking for and you look at the market for pass rushers right now, he probably falls somewhere between Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, right? Somewhere there.
35.
That's a lot. But he's a key piece. So just the fact that they're re-engaging, I think that's a good sign. Doesn't mean that he's going to wind up in Cincinnati, but I could see that being another priority because Cincinnati hears us. Joe Burrow hears us. They hear the criticisms of everyone around football wondering why this team would waste a Joe Burrow window here when they can reach deep in the pockets and maybe supply some of the needs that they need.
Well, this is a departure on everything they've ever done with the organization. They've precedent setting. They usually don't guarantee past the second year, and they've done it with these guys and like Burrow, Ja'Marr. I mean, T getting 2 full years guaranteed doesn't sound like a lot on a normal NFL team. That's huge for the Bengals. And if I'm Joe Burrow, I'm waking up super excited, super pumped, knowing that I have all the power, but also a little bit of pressure. Because the Bengals did exactly what Joe Burrow wanted. Right now, they're 3/4 of the way through. They signed Ja'Marr Chase, they signed Tee Higgins, they signed Mike Gesicki, and the fourth of the fourth is what he wanted, and what his off-season tour was saying is sign Trey Hendrickson. Can they get it done? I don't know. They're probably going to have to win games 48-40. But if I'm Joe, I'm loving it. Now I'm saying, okay, cool. I got my guys. I can be the most lethal passing game in the NFL for the next 5 years, but can we have the most lethal team? And that starts with defense and ends with defense. Look, Joe Burrow put up almost 5,000 yards passing, 43 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions. They won 9 games. They still lost 8 games, Dianna. And when you really dive into those 8 games lost, they averaged giving up 34 points a game on defense during those 8 losses, okay? So no one can really win like that. Let me just go a little bit deeper because I had research at Fox figure this out because I was like, let me make sense of this. In those 8 losses, offensively, they scored 28 points a game. That's a lot of points a game. You know what the teams in the NFL record was this past year when they score over 28 points? 140 and 22. 8 of those 22 losses were the Bengals. Tell me that the defense is not the problem. He is putting up absurd numbers, and I'm trying to make sense of it because they're like, well, Joe Burrow just needs to carry his team, and he needs to do this, and he needs to do that.
You can only do so much is the point.
You can only do so
line.
much. And quite honestly, you look at the past 7 years, okay, of the AFC, which that's the toughest conference in my opinion. Tell me another quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes and not named Tom Brady that has made the Super Bowl in that 7-year time period. Guess what? It's Joe Burrow. It ain't Josh Allen. It ain't Lamar Jackson. It's not any of those guys. So the precedent is set for them. They can be good, but that year they went to the Super Bowl, that defense was good.
Yeah.
And they need to continue building that, but until then, they're going to have to win like 48-40 or something.
Yeah. Well, for 40.25 a year, can Ja'Marr Chase play corner? Like, can't they flip them? Put those guys on defense, too. That's why they got paid so much money. Imagine that was the scoop. Oh, here are the deals. Oh, and by the way, they're playing on both sides of the ball now because we need it. What? He would be amazing.
Julian Edelman did it.
Why wouldn't we? So, look, they're going to have to come up big here in the draft and find ways to win this year with this offense that's humming. But this has really been the concern when I've had these conversations with people around the league of what's the philosophy here of Cincinnati paying, their 2-star weapons this much money. How do you fix the defense, And I think the bigger story here, and I actually want to do a whole show with you one day on this and get maybe a former GM or even maybe a current one to just talk about timing of these deals and why certain organizations are willing to make assessments on their players at the time where they're cheaper compared to those that we see waiting, right? Like we give so much credit to Howie Roseman with the Philadelphia Eagles getting Devonta Smith done, getting A.J. Brown done. They get ahead, paying Saquon Barkley now, right? Like they just seem like they're getting ahead of when the price goes up. Where you see the Cowboys, they don't mind waiting, and it comes with so much. Credit to the Houston Texans. They're getting ahead on some of these deals. Then you look at the Jets. Sauce Gardner wants to get paid. Well, guess what? After today, the price just went up. Thanks for tuning into Scoop City. If you want to hear more, make sure you like and subscribe. We drop our new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.